Hello and welcome to today's European SharePoint Office 365 and Azure Community webinar. My name is Maureen and I am delighted to be joined by Richard Bayliss, who will be talking to you about creating an engaging digital workspace. Remember to join in the conversation about today's webinar on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @EuropeanSP and our hashtag is ESPC17. After the webinar, we will have a questions and answers session. Type any question you may have for Richard in the questions window. Some questions will be selected and answered at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and you'll be notified by email when it is available. And now, I'm going to hand you over to our webinar presenter for today, Richard Bayliss. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Maureen. My name is Richard Bayliss. Today I'm going to be talking about creating an engaging digital communication experience platform. So a bit about me before I kind of kick off, just so you know who's talking to you. I'm currently the Innovations and Experience Lead here at LiveTiles, based in London. We have offices all over the world. But just a bit of background relating to me. I've worked in digital advertising SaaS-based technology for about 16 years. My kind of speciality is digital transitioning and adoption specialist. So I've worked in big organizations such as Group M, migrating the entire 1,500 staffing from a software called Adazzle to an internal software called Metis, and also making sure people are using it to its full potential. And I've also moved and migrated advertisers such as Nintendo from flash talking ad servers to DoubleClick, and I've done that across the Group M organization, which is absolutely huge. And I've also worked at Microsoft during the Exhibitor days, so that's Exhibitor, Technology, Atlas, Microsoft Advertising, and Screen Tonic. Bit about me, just so you kind of get an idea of what I'm all about. I'm a big fan of Southampton Football Club down on the south coast. I enjoy fitness, keeping fit, football, gym, all that kind of stuff. Cars, which will be irrelevant later when I do a little demo, and traveling. So, what am I hoping to cover off today, and what I'm hoping to convey to you is what is and what makes a great digital communication experience platform, understanding communication channels in a modern business, understand key steps before designing a digital communication experience platform, designing an engaging digital experience platform using LiveTiles Design, and it's a SharePoint version I'll be talking about, and Office 365, and just kind of key takeaways that I would like everyone on the call and listening to kind of take away from my presentation today. There's an opportunity for Q&A at the end. So, what makes a great digital communication platform? Here we go. It's like a traditional British pub. And for those not in the UK and Ireland, just to let you know what a traditional British pub is, it's traditionally a village pub in a small community. It's 9 out of 10 an independent pub, and it serves the community. It's a central point, and this is why I think it's really relevant when we're talking about DXBs. So, and just to kind of break that down for you, so it's the community, socially driven. The DXP and additional pub are both socially driven. It only works if people are invested in it, working together, sharing it, coming together, supporting it. Idea sharing and collaboration. You want people to come there and come together, chat, share ideas, put things out, ask for help, ask for assistance. Traditionally, a traditional English pub might be over alcohol and maybe after a few too many drinks, but it's a vocal point. Next one is engaging content. People will only come to something if it's engaging, and that's one of the things for DXB. It needs to be engaging to our users, make it personal, make it interesting. Traditional pub, you might have a fireplace, you might have thatched roofs, might be a bit of a tourist stop, but it's always engaging. Always available. With a modern era, everything does need to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's on their mobile phone, it's on their laptop, it's on their tablet. And the new era, smartwatches and gadgets like that may be available on that as well. Traditional pub, maybe not, unless you have something called a lock-in where they close the windows and then carry on partying all night. security, and this is a big thing in the modern era. There's ransomware that happened earlier this year, malware and spyware and all that kind of stuff. So it needs to be a secure environment that people can come to, and that's not only for a user, it's also for the corporations and businesses that might have a DXP set up for their staff. Traditional pub is just a place where people feel safe and homely, and it's a place away from home, as the phrase goes. New offerings. It's always good to freshen up your sites, your pages. If you look at bing.com, it's actually one of the great things is that it has a new image every day, and actually those images are really, really interesting if you like photography, if you like the world, imagery, animals. It's just really nice. It's a very simple thing to do, and I'll actually show you how to do that in our product as well. And just try something. Have the emphasis of just trying something new. Super simple. And fundamentally, and this is a big takeaway, it has to be the central hub. The central hub of the kind of community, of your office, the company. It's a central place that everyone will go to get information. So, understanding communication channels in the modern business. So, traditional communication channels, and I started the industry over 16 years ago, and it was very basic and really simple. It was pretty much two devices. It was a phone and your computer. Laptop, desktop, whatever it might be, it's very simple. There were lots of face-to-face meetings, team events, off-sites, and generally signed with a handshake at the end of the deal. But things were missed. There was delays. You couldn't get hold of people. Missed admin. If people are out the office and not or passing stuff over, things get missed. It's a very simple process, but there was lots of mistakes. The modern era has changed. The explosion of communication-based apps across the board, multi-platform offerings. There's blurred lines between private and professional communications. If people have a single phone, maybe. I have a single phone, and what I use it for is work and personal. And that's a controversial thing in some worlds, keeping two things separate. There's free versus paid offerings. And there's a big issue about privacy and security risks. Your teams may be downloading and doing little breakaways. So this is only a small cross-section of some of the communication apps that's out there. There's websites. If you give me the top 10, give me top 25, give me top 50. There's lots of different apps there. And if it's not controlled, it can get out and completely become uncontrollable, where you have breakaways in different offices, teams, departments, misuse of content, and also information can be shared which shouldn't be shared on those communication channels. So it's really important to keep it under control and communicate to your team what should be used. And the same applies to the explosion of storage-based. So you have the free version versus paid. Big multinationals such as OneDrive, we got there, Google Drive, Amazon Drive, those big corporations, but then you have small startups as well that are coming into that marketplace. Do you trust them? What's the best ones to use? There's cloud storage, obviously, which I've got there. There's also on-premise storage. So there's lots of considerations to take into account. And also, what operating systems? So there's lots of fundamental questions people are asking themselves in this current modern business. And if it's not controlled and conveyed to staff, it can get out of control and it could have detrimental impact on your business. But I think the core thing is we're talking about three devices: the mobile phone, the laptop or desktop, and the tablet. And if I look at some statistics prior to this meeting today, I looked at ComScore. This information is from 2017. They say the average US person over 18 spends 2.51 hours looking at a phone. So eMarketer kind of contradicts that. This is data from 2016. It says it's 4 hours and 5 minutes. which is extremely long time. But if you count under 18s as well, it's nearly 8 hours and 25 minutes, which is absolutely scary statistics. An average adult looks at a laptop or a computer screen for 10 hours a day. So fundamentally, even though there's an explosion of communication-based apps, storage-based apps, we're still down to 3 core hardware devices to gain access and utilize information, and that's the simple part of the bigger picture. So, understanding key steps for designing your digital communication experience platform. I think the biggest thing, and I've managed many projects, is don't be overwhelmed. It can get very overwhelming very quickly, but you just need to take control. Find key speakers, stakeholders for each group. They could be the most vocal, most argumentative people, but they may be the best persons to convey what's going well, what could go better, and what's going completely badly within a group with department. So it's great to get vocal people into a room to give you feedback. Never dismiss any feedback. I think that's always the big thing when you're getting drawing plans out, is to dismiss feedback. It's listen to everything. But the phrase is never. There's no such thing as a bad idea, and I really believe in that. Be engaging and open. Listen to it. Never dismiss an idea. And if you design something and then someone's negative about it, listen to it. Be open. The other one is be transparent with ideas, designs, and concepts. If you're working for a small company or a big company, be transparent. Put things out on these digital experience platforms, for example, which we're talking about today. Send out emails, send out mock-ups, get people's feedback. Don't go away into a corner and design something you think is really cool and then push it on your staff, your teams, maybe external clients. Just be completely open and it'll be more engaging. So when you finally do launch your final product, everyone's aware. People are aware of what it looks and feels going to be. They're excited about it because they've been engaged with it throughout the process. And the other one is update and reinvent ideas as the project develops. When you start an idea and a project, when you actually deploy it, where it mean a month, 2 months, maybe a year's time, that original idea may have changed and may have evolved. As the business evolves, also the people you introduce to may come along. So be prepared to update and reinvent ideas as the idea and the project develops. So understanding and the priorities and requirements is understanding what Office 365 people use. There's such a broad range of software now that Microsoft are deploying through Office 365. Do you need to actually integrate all of them? Or is it just a core Skype product, Excel product, Power BI? So working with your staff, work out what's key and what they actually want. Understand how they use it, and how they access the content. Now, are they spending most of their time, is your audience spending most of the time at a desk with a laptop, maybe with a second screen? What is it, your salespeople that will spend very little time sat at a desk and on the road on their mobile phone or maybe a tablet? So through understanding those key values, you need to go away and define your must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and won't-haves. There's really simple buckets to put all the findings you have into a table. Now, this is a small table I've kind of created. And I'm going to talk about something I'm going to create at the minute. So as I said at the beginning of the presentation, I love cars. So yeah, I'm very obsessed by cars. So I'm going to be doing something for a McLaren automotive. Within that, I want to say that news is going to be a must-have. All device compatibility is a must-have. Like I said, we're about those 3 devices. People want their information on everything. People search is a must-have. Analytics, it's a could-have. It's not urgent, but social elements, must-have. Maps, not that important at the moment. So you kind of get the idea that bringing it and creating a table will hone what you're trying to design here. So, designing an engaging digital experience platform using LiveTiles Design and Office 365. So before I actually show you LiveTiles and also go into SharePoint, just want to introduce you to LiveTiles. So LiveTiles has been around about 4 years. We have about 7 million users globally, and we have a range of products that allow corporations, small businesses, big multinationals to create a digital experience platform, kind of an intranet that's kind of evolved the capability, and you need no coding experience. It's updated on a bi-weekly basis with new updates, features from users. Now I'm going to go into, so this is, everyone should be familiar with SharePoint. So within here, I'm going to create a folder for my pictures. So I have created some pictures already. So here we go in my picture library. So I'm going to create a new folder, pictures. Oh, here we go, there we go. Oops, sorry. There we go, that's what I wanted, apologies. So I'm just going to do McLaren. Great. So McLaren's here. Now I'm going to upload files. And in my pictures here, I've got McLaren. And this is a selection of kind of logos, automotive pictures that I can use on my page. I'm just going to upload all of those. There we go. Fingers crossed they're all going to load. Okay, perfect. Okay, they all should be there, and fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm seeing all my different icons and automotive imagery on the page. Now, I want to go into, this is LiveTiles. So introducing to LiveTiles Design. Like I said, this is going to be the SharePoint version of LiveTiles, which sits on top of Office 365 SharePoint and pulls in data from your Office 365 environment. So if I go to create, we have blank, and blank is where you have a fixed width. So if you have a screen, in, for example, in your shop, basically, that people may want to interact, it's a touch screen, you know how big the screen is, you can use the blank. But I'm going to use blank responsive. And that allows you, the page will automatically, through its intelligence design, change shape and change the content depending on the device your user is looking at. So I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to go blank, get started. Here we go. So this is my blank LiveTiles page. Like I say, I'm going to keep this super simple. I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just want to show you, show everyone how LiveTiles utilize SharePoint and Office 365 products on the market. So this is my blank page. I'm going to drop in a whole bunch of rows onto the page. Here we go. And this is the beauty of it. So these are my rows, what I'm going to have. I'm going to go page settings, background image. So as you saw earlier, I loaded some images into SharePoint. So if I go down to myself, Richard, and I go down to my picture library, and I have McLaren. Here we go. And in this case, I'm just going to have a raw image of a car there. Now, so what I can do with each row is to divide it into 2 up to 5 different sections. So I've created it into 4 sections here. So within here, LiveTiles has 70 different tiles. We're always growing. So within here, I am going to have a image. So I'm going to drop an image there, and I'm going to have personal. Here we go. Click on that image. Same again. Go down to Richard. Picture library. McLaren. I'm going to do the McLaren logo. So select. It's going to fit, edit image, and we can kind of reduce it. There's lots of unneeded noise here, so I can get rid of some of that, and I can do this all through the LiveTiles product. Here we go. So save. Okay. Yep. That's going to bring that resized image into the page, and I go okay. There we go. There's my McLaren logo into the page. So within this page here, I am going to add. So what am I going to do? Things. So navigation. So you can go in there, and with the little cogs, you can change everything from the size, font, links, custom. So within here, I'm going to create some custom. So I'm just going to go home, Formula One. They're not having a good year this year, but Formula One, I'm going to add that. Corp. Oops. Add link. Just careers and group, just to give you an idea what you can do. Done. So you can see what I've just done there is create an easy navigation if I want to create other pages. Now I'm going to go down to one of the following rows here. I'm going to split that into 4, and now I'm going to put social. So I'm going to have a Twitter page, and I'm going to have Facebook. Okay, the 2 big social media. So you're bringing everything into a page. Now with the beauty of this, if I hit on the little cogs, currently we have a Facebook page ID. Now if I go into my text site, here we go. So if I go to Twitter, I know this. I kind of prepared this just in advance. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Twitter. Let's go to there. Same thing again. Just change it. McLaren Auto. Done. Now we'll bring in McLaren information. And if I go into Facebook, same principle again. Go in there. Just change that. There we go. So it's bringing in those social platforms straight away into a page. And the big thing about these social platforms is it stops your users potentially going to these different platforms to get the information for going into Twitter and getting distracted. So they may have good intentions. They go to Twitter to look at McLaren Automotive and find out what information the McLaren are currently putting out to the general public. But 9 out of 10 times, they'll get distracted by another group they subscribe to. In my case, like I said, I'm a massive Southampton fan. So even though I might have intentions to go and have a look for McLaren Automotive, I might actually get distracted by information about who Southampton signed, who's injured, any kind of information like that. This gives you the power to make sure all your staff are in a single location, they don't get distracted, and all that information is easily accessible. And like I said, this is available on all devices. So here I have a Facebook and Twitter feed for McLaren. Now I'm going to have documents. So you do have the opportunity to put kind of cloud documents. If you're using OneDrive, Dropbox, you can include that on a page. But in this case, I'm just going to have document folder here. Here we go. So if I go to my page, I've got the McLaren documents, which I already created that folder earlier. There shouldn't be anything in it, so it's empty at the moment. Now, if I go upload, file, and if I go back 1, I've got a selection of documents there. They are Word documents, PDF, Excel files. You can put anything into this folder and they're made available within the page. So there we go. So I have my files there, nice and simple. If I go back to here, documents, I will go down to myself again. Richard, open. And if I look for McLaren doc, okay. So there we go. So there's all my McLaren documents, all in a single location. So you can see how quickly I'm building out a page. Here we go. What else can I say? So I can add a Power BI if I wanted to. If you've got information in a graphic form that's been updated, you can pull that onto the page. So if you're, for example, working in a retail space and you're getting live sales figures, you can use it, and that's going into Power BI. You can pull that whole Power BI chart into a page. We do have some custom stuff, so if you're creative and you do have a developer that's very code savvy, wants to do something funky, you can pull those in. Documents, which I showed there. Feeds, you can do kind of RSS feeds. I will do a news feed. I'm going to put a news feed in here. So if I go into this one here, I'm going to split it into two. And now into feeds, and let's go into news. So we're going to put in some information here. But if I want to change that, I can go onto list. And I go to myself again. Richard. And I did actually create a McLaren news, but I will show you how to update that at a given time. So here we go. So I actually created that. There's only 2 news stories that's there. So I'm going to save this. So I just go to Save As, Save Page As. I'm just going to call it McLaren. Demo and location. I'm just going to save it to my personal area here. Site pages. There we go. Just going to save that. There we go. Keep designing. So if I want to see my page, I can go to page here. There we go. So my page is now active. I can kind of flick between stories here, and this is just putting in a list from SharePoint, which I previously created. I'm going to show you how to add a new news story and an image. I've got my files here, so if I click on them, there we go. You can show them to open up in a window. You can add some navigation to it. It's really, really simple. Or you can open it in a new browser. So you can see the whole page is coming together really quickly, but maybe I want to put some spacing there. I want to make the window that pops up to see these files slightly larger. So I go to Design View. So that'll finish. So I click on there. Padding, just bottom, I'm going to put 2, I'm going to just put a random, just put a little space so you can see a bit more of the car and creates a bit more of a page. Within here, I can change the background color, but in this case, and also you can make sure this, if you don't want this document folder to appear on mobile phones, you can just click these and change it. Really, really simple, like I said. So you have full control over what you do, and also when you click on it, what happens. So at the moment, my window is 800 by 600. Let's increase that by 900 to 700. Okay, done. So it's very flexible and very, very easy. So if I go back to my SharePoint and I go to my McLaren News section. So say I'm a communications and marketing team and I just want to add a news story. So I would just go on to new. And I've actually got the news story already here. So it's regarding Spa, which happened a few weeks ago, and a Top Gear presenter was one of the drivers there. So I just put in that information there. Body. Here we go. Save. Now, if I have some pictures, so if I go to Picture Library, and I go to McLaren, and I just want to take that one, that image there, I'll copy link, copy, oops, and I will put that, paste it there, and paste it there, save. As I'm already referencing that McLaren News folder, when I go back to my page and just go save, see we have two here. Go to page. There we go. So that's my new news story. So BBC Top Gear presenter Chris Harris gets McLaren Drive. So we automatically have information. You can have it pop up however you want to on the page. But the possibilities are endless. And it all really comes down to your imagination and how you want the information displayed, and also what you want to be pulled into a page. As I said, I've only just done a quick demo there to show you what the potential is. But this allows a admin, a site admin, a company admin, it could be a marketing person, to kind of go in there and create a page with real simple ease. If I'm just going to put a people search there as well. Without any kind of coding expertise, you do need a little bit of a layout skills and how you would want to do it, but you could go in there and change it any time. And like I said, it's pulling in information from your Office 365 packages. So in the case where you put a search, people search there, is putting information from Delve. You've got SharePoint document folders I'm putting into a page, and I've got external stuff like Facebook, Twitter in there. You can put big maps into a page. So the possibilities are endless. And the beauty of this, if I'm someone that works in McLaren internally and I put Richard Bayless, it's going to pull up the Dell page. There's my picture and profile. There we go. Now if I want to start a Skype call, simple. It will call up a Skype window and pull in that Skype packaging. I can also send an email direct from this single pane of glass. So it saves massive amounts of time for an individual. So they don't have to go to multiple sources, to find out information. It pulls in lots of different platforms, so there's less distraction and wasted time. And I think the biggest thing is if people are trying to hunt for files, they're getting distracted by social media. They're not sure where to look, and this tool and software aggregates everything into a single pane of glass or digital canvas. It saves so much time and costs and money, and it's so simple to do. So even though my page is a bit crude, I must admit, it kind of gives you a rough idea of the potential of what you can do with a LiveTiles page. There we go. So this is my McLaren page. Like I said, got the documents there, your social media there, news which I can flick through, and update at any time, which I just showed you. Put basic navigation, a logo, and just a people search and a background image. Like I said, if I wanted to change that background image, very simple. Page view, just go to the top page settings and just change the image. So that's a small introduction to LiveTiles. If you'd like to know any more information about it in any greater depth, please let me know. Just drop me an email and I'll show you more information. So if I go back to my presentation. Cool. I think the key takeaways from today is creating an engaging digital communication experience platform. And this kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning of the presentation. It's community and socially driven. The more people you can get coming together in a single location, the more people will know what's going on within even a small organization or a big organization. And they may want to share ideas, they may have feedback, they may want to get involved. So it's great to have a single location where everyone can come to kind of contribute. And that comes back to sharing ideas and collaboration. Everyone has a different opinion, and it's always good to hear everyone's views. And if they give an outlet to do that, that's the best way. And a digital internet, digital experience platform, communication platform is the best way to do that in a modern business where people are scattered all over the world. People are working at home, or, they're traveling, and to have a single platform people can go to make aware of what's going on in the corporation. If people need help, they can put stuff and go to. Engaging content. Now, one of the beauties of the things with LiveTiles, what you can do is you can actually use your SharePoint folders, documents, and if you have permissioning on those, so you can also do some level of that through LiveTiles as well. If a content is only relevant for a certain user or a certain group, say sales, if a salesperson logs onto their LiveTiles page, it will only show them sales content. So it makes it completely relevant for them. So even though the background and everything will be the same across all different departments, you can create user-generated content very simply by pulling in information. Always available is through the different devices, and it's always available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's always secure. And I think that's a big thing, like I spoke to earlier. Where there's been sort of ransomware situations this year in 2017, also malware, spyware, and all those kind of worries, if you allow all your staff to go to a single place, you can have control over what they use, how they use software, and how they communicate, reducing the risk that small groups will go off, download software, or end up with private WhatsApp groups, and you have no control over what's said and how things are communicated within the business. So having a central secure location, you can go out to your staff saying, this is what we're providing, and this is where our outlay of information is going to be in a safe, secure environment, is the best thing for everyone involved. New offerings, features tested. Don't be worried it's about looking at your page and saying, actually, I don't think that's right. Move it, change it. If a picture, remember saying I referred to Bing at the beginning of this presentation. Bing.com changes its picture on a daily background, and that's really appealing for people. And some of the pictures are absolutely beautiful. So go in there, make changes. If the Facebook tab on the right-hand side is not really working, move it to the left-hand side. Add more stories, be creative, just change it up a little bit so your users have a surprise every time they kind of go in. Be brave. And the core takeaway, it should be the central hub, the DXP, the communication channel, the internet, whatever you want to call it, should be the central hub of your business. That everyone from the mail person, the receptionist, all the way to senior management, all go to this location to get their knowledge, their information, their files, social information, because it creates a very rich environment and very powerful within a modern business. If you have a central hub, even if you have a 10 staff company or a 10,000 staff company, if they're all going to the central location to get all their information, everyone's on the same page. They're not wasting time trying to hunt files. There's versioning issues. If you have everything in a central hub, the versioning issues of different files goes away simply. Also, they're not wasting time on social media. If you've got a social team that's putting stuff out on different channels, it allows them to see all those different channels in a single location. So your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever it might be, LinkedIn from a professional capacity can all be integrated into LiveTiles, for example. So it's a central hub for everyone in a business, and that's so valuable for any organization to have that, and it's key. But fundamentally, I'm going back to it's like a traditional English pub. That it is, an English pub is the heart and soul of a community. And it's really powerful. People go there because they want to spend time with people. They want to share ideas. They want to come together, communicate. They want to get out of the house. And I really believe a DXP, a good one, is like a traditional English pub. And if you get it right, it will work. It will grow it itself. It's its own kind of ecosystem as such. Now, I'd like to thank everyone for kind of listening for me today. I hope everyone got something from it, a bit of insight into who I am and what I actually do here, and get an idea of the power of LiveTiles and how it could use Office 365 and all its different packages in there. And basically, if we're using LiveTiles, for example, increase adoption of different Office 365 packages. So SharePoint, Skype, for example, I just showed Skype there. Yammer, if you've got a Yammer feed, you can integrate that there. So using one bit of software can help increase your adoption of various different software packages internally and also external software packages. So if you want any more information, my email address, is richard.bayliss@LiveTiles.nyc. I put my LinkedIn there, but if you want to know anything else about LiveTiles, just have a quick look at LiveTiles.nyc for more information about what we do, our packages and everything else, and how we kind of complement Office 365. Like I said, it's just one of our products. We've got a range of products which you can find out on the site. But I hope you got something from a day. If you'd like to ask anything else, please do. Thank you very much.
Richard, thank you so much. That was brilliant. Okay. Yes, we do have some questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
what platform is it installed on, or is it a cloud-based Microsoft?
So we can do it on Azure, or it's in the App Store. So Office 365 or SharePoint 2013, 2016, it can sit on top of and pull content from.
Okay, brilliant. So that's all we have time for today, but join us again for our next webinar. Thank you all for attending, and goodbye.